Sorry, I'm messing up someone's mic. All right, we can test first. Does everyone sound good for everyone? You all got it? Okay. All right, thank you for coming today. I'm John Hummel, Deschutes County District Attorney. With me is Deschutes County Sheriff Shane Nelson, Bend Police Department Captain Corey Darling, and High Desert Museum Executive Director Dana Whitelaw. I'll make a statement, then Dana will make a statement, then I'll be accepting questions from the audience at the end. At 3:25 p.m. yesterday, May 31st, a 911 call was placed from the High Desert Museum. The High Desert Museum is Central Oregon's backyard. For more than 30 years, the museum has enchanted us with the natural world and with the cultural history of the West High Desert. But yesterday was anything but enchanting. The 911 caller reported that a man was holding a female and threatening to kill her. The man was Nicholas Berger, a 36-year-old Caucasian who had recently moved to Bend. For reasons that are unknown at this time, Mr. Berger, who was a patron at the museum, grabbed a 38-year-old museum employee in the gift shop. Berger took the woman against her will out of the gift shop. A violent struggle ensued with the woman fighting for her life. Berger was 6 foot 6 inches and weighed 425 pounds. The woman is 5 foot 3 inches and petite. Berger took the woman through various exhibit halls in the museum. He had his arm around her neck. He had a knife. The museum was open for business yesterday, and numerous patrons were present. Throughout the day, the museum had 269 visitors, including 36 students. These students included 4th graders from the Maupin School. In the immediate vicinity of the incident were approximately 30 patrons. Thankfully, all evidence is that none of the children were in the immediate vicinity. I want to make that clear. No children had to, school children who were there on a trip had to see this. There was a video taken of the incident. One of the patrons had a cell phone and took a video. I'm not releasing the video at this point. This investigation is active, ongoing. There are still witnesses to interview. My concern is if I release that video, it could taint these witnesses' memories. Are they remembering what they saw in the video, or are they remembering what they saw when they were there? And so I will not be releasing the video at this point, but in the relatively near future, we will be releasing that video. But we do have some still photos from that video that I will be releasing right now. We're going to show videos of them, and you'll have hard copies that you can take with you at the end of this conference. So Josh, do you want to show the videos? This is Berger with his arm around the museum employee inside the museum, and we'll hold that for a second. I know the media wants to get shots of that, so we'll hold that. Okay, Josh, we'll show the next video. And this is Berger moving with the woman. There are many terrifying aspects of this. One is that it was fluid. It was moving between exhibit halls, and quite a terrifying situation. Now, among these 30 patrons in the immediate vicinity that I described, there were some heroes. These individuals, at great risk to their own personal safety, they intervened in an effort to protect this woman's life. She was eventually released by Berger, and she fled for safety. Oregon State Police troopers and Deschutes County Sheriff deputies arrived on the scene quickly, within moments. We're talking mere minutes. The response was spectacular. When they arrived, they encountered Berger. After getting into the building, they were directed where to go. They encountered Berger. The moments after this initial encounter, this is the most active part of this investigation. We need to know what happened at that time. I'm not going to be talking details about those moments after the encounter with Berger. Do not want to compromise this investigation, but I can tell you this. A taser was deployed by an Oregon State Police trooper, and that same trooper also fired 3 shots at Berger. And beyond that, we're not releasing details. Bend Fire and Rescue were soon on the scene again. A very quick response. I'm really proud of a law enforcement agency. Our community should be proud of these quick responses. Ben Fire and Rescue was soon on the scene and declared Berger deceased. My sympathies go out to Berger's family. We still don't know why he did what he did, and many no doubt feel animus towards him. But we know that his family is suffering, and we wish them well. Now, almost immediately after this incident, the Tri-County Major Crimes Team was activated. The Bend Police Department is the lead agency for this investigation. I am extremely confident with the status of the investigation and the officers who are deployed on that team. I arrived on the scene shortly after the incident as well, was briefed by everyone involved, and comfortable with this investigation. Community should be proud of law enforcement. The community response to this tragedy has been overwhelming. The Red Cross was on scene until the wee hours this morning. They provided food, blankets, and support for museum visitors and investigating officers. Deschutes County Behavioral Health was on the scene to provide support to museum staff and to visitors, and they remain a resource for anyone who is struggling with what they experienced. Our local Costco and Starbucks provided food and beverage to visitors and investigators, and we certainly appreciate that. You know, it's hard to keep this community down, and last night we shone. Next steps. The autopsy of Mr. Berger is being conducted as we speak at the Oregon State Police Crime Lab in Clackamas. We have more witnesses to interview. Many witnesses have been interviewed. More witnesses still to be interviewed. Understandably, after this incident, many witnesses fled and left the scene. We understand that, so we put out a call last night. If you're on scene, even if you think you didn't see anything important, we encourage you to call, because what you think may be insignificant could be extremely important. And many people did call last night based on that, and so we're following up with them, and we encourage anyone else to call Bend Police Department. You can call, if you can't find that number, you could call 911, but we tend not to say call 911 for a non-emergency, but if you have no other number to call, call that. We want to hear from you. That's what I want you to know. But try the Bend Police Department non-emergency number is your best bet. We have more video to examine. Talked about the video from the cell phone in question. We want to know, do any other patrons have videos? Do any other patrons have still photos? There were closed circuit cameras in the High Desert Museum. We are still analyzing those cameras, so that has to happen. The Oregon State Police trooper is being interviewed tomorrow. That has to happen. Now, after the investigation is completed, after all witnesses have been interviewed, all videos examined, the results, the investigation results from the Tri-County Major Crimes Team will be forwarded to me. I will review that and ask myself a question after fully vetting this with my staff, my colleagues in law enforcement. Do I think a crime was committed? If I think a crime was committed, I will refer the matter to the grand jury to investigate. If I think a crime was not committed, I will not seek criminal charges, and I will explain to the public the rationale for my decision. That's it at this point, and I'll turn it over to Ms. Whitelaw to give a statement from the High Desert Museum.
Thank you for having me here today. I'm Dana Whitelaw, the Executive Director of the High Desert Museum. Yesterday, the unthinkable happened at our museum. A paying visitor assaulted a staff member, forcing police to respond with force. Those minutes during that act of random violence shook us to our core and subsequently showed the incredible perseverance and strength of our staff, volunteers, and visitors alike. It was inspiring. Through adversity, our staff found the clarity to quickly respond to the situation using the skills that we practiced during our safety drills. They called 911, they alerted those around them to move out of our building, thus minimizing any potential emotional and physical injuries to those inside the museum. We are incredibly thankful to the scores of emergency responders and law enforcement who came to our aid yesterday and stayed into the wee hours of the morning. Red Cross volunteers who brought food, water, and blankets, and to the scores of community members who have reached out to us with words of kindness and support. We're very grateful for all of you. I would be remiss to not use this opportunity to send our support to the Oregon State Trooper who was the first on the scene and responded to the crisis. Also to our staff, volunteers, and visitors who were at the museum yesterday, and to the family of the deceased assailant. You are all in our thoughts. On behalf of our 45 staff members, 25 trustees, and more than 200 volunteers, we thank you. Your support has lifted our spirits and given us the strength to get through today and to prepare to reopen tomorrow. As you know, the museum was closed to the public today to give our staff time to be with each other, and Deschutes County Mental Health was a huge part of that. We were able to connect and decompress and take care of the wildlife. We will reopen tomorrow, Thursday, June 2nd at 9 a.m. Today, while I was taking a moment to walk along one of the paths at the museum, I was reminded of an essay that I once read by David Ursillo. Our potential, what we allow ourselves to do today, and what we do on behalf of a better tomorrow, is always unlimited. Tomorrow is a new day. We'll reopen our doors and seize all of the opportunity that comes with a new dawn. I hope that our founder, Don Kerr, would be proud of his museum today and all of the support that we continue to have from our incredible community that has made this special place possible. And that support comes from near and far. Thank you very much.
Happy to take questions now. Now's a good time to turn on my mic, which I neglected to do. Wanda, more?
Yeah, I was wondering, can you tell us a little bit more about the victim's condition?
Yeah, thankfully the victim is not suffering permanent injuries, but the injuries she's suffering are painful. The gentleman, Mr. Berger, is a big man. When you see the video, which again I'm not releasing now, but the grabbing around the neck, it was a violent grab and dragging throughout, and she has significant pain. She has bruising along her neck. It is significant. There's a difference between someone's child banging his shin and getting a bruise and what we're seeing here and the pain we're seeing. It was a violent struggle, and I do want to also say this woman, the strength she showed, this small woman who had the will to live, the fight inside of her was darn impressive. She was grabbing onto handrails to prevent herself from being taken away. She believed, and I believe as well, that if Mr. Berger got her out of that building, she would not be with us today. Other questions? Yes.
Angela Moore with The Source. Does Berger have any prior convictions?
Yeah, we're still looking into Berger's past. Do we have an update on that? Last we checked, we had not found any priors. Yeah, we're not, so we're still looking. This is part of the active investigation. Berger is relatively new to Bend. Sometimes when people travel a lot, prior convictions in other jurisdictions may not always show, and it takes some more digging. We don't see anything yet, and it might be that he has no priors. I don't want to, bash the man on necessarily. I don't know if he has priors. May have them. We haven't found any yet. Yeah.
Do we know where the shooting took place? Was it in the lobby, or do we know if it was a different exhibit?
Yeah, where the actual shot was fired, I'm not releasing that now. This is still a part of an investigation, and it might be an easy answer that would not compromise the investigation if this all occurred in one spot. But because we were moving from outside to inside, and Berger was moving, and he was moving the victim, and then the victim fled. She went through some exhibit halls when she fled, and the trooper had to move throughout this building. So we're holding that information at this point. Other questions?
Just for clarity's sake, he did not know this 38-year-old employee. It was a random. Was that how you would characterize it? He went in the gift shop and grabbed her?
Here's what I'd say about that. We have no evidence at this point that Berger knew her. Actually, the evidence is to the contrary, that he didn't know her. The evidence we have now is that they did not know each other, but the investigation is not complete. So I don't dot that I and cross that T. We're going to follow this investigation through to the end, but as of right now, our working assumption is they did not know each other. That's where the evidence is pointing us.
And she did flee from him? She was away from him?
No, at the end, right, when the law enforcement arrived, she had already gotten away from him. That was due primarily to her fight. It also had something to do with some patrons in the museum who intervened, and it may also have something to do with thoughts in Berger's head that we can't explain at this point. And so maybe he released her, just chose to. Maybe that last bit of fight got her away. Maybe the involvement of the patrons, it's still very fluid at that point. And so, but she was away from Berger when law enforcement got there.
And last question, is there anything you can say about what you do know about Mr. Berger? You just said he's new to the area.
Yeah, he's new to the area. But he's not unknown. Fortunately, good work through the Tri-County team, Tri-County Major Crimes team. We found various places that he's worked in the community. We're talking to his employers. We know some points where he's lived, places he's lived on and off. So we have numerous points of contact. We've spoken to his family, some of his family members. So we're developing a good picture of Mr. Berger. We don't have a full, complete picture yet, but we're getting there. Yes.
And was he saying anything to her during this?
Yeah, well, he was saying a lot to her. At one point, he said, "I'm going to kill you." Maybe it was a little more forceful. Something like, "I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to kill you," loud. This was a violent encounter. I want to impress upon people. Sometimes I think naturally want to look for broken bones or something like that. Through the grace of God, she's not injured more. It was a violent encounter with her, and I don't know if I said this yet. I think I might have. Berger had a knife. I didn't say that. Berger had a knife during his encounter with this woman. Other questions? Yes, Wanda.
What kind of happened right before this violent encounter started?
Yeah. We that of course good investigation will work backwards from the incident, and we're still trying to go back. But in the immediate time before, Mr. Berger was a patron, a paying patron of the museum. He was in the gift shop. Seemed to be browsing through the gift shop. We don't know if he really was browsing and then decided to grab this employee, or if he was ostensibly browsing and he was casing the joint. We don't know that, but he was wandering through the gift shop when he made the decision when he grabbed this woman.
Did he make eye contact with her before, or was there anything that the victim had an idea that this was about to happen?
Yeah, that level of detail I'm not going to get into at this point.
You mentioned that he was shot 3 times by the trooper. Do we know where exactly was he shot? Was he shot in the torso?
Good. Let's correct this. I said the trooper fired 3 shots.
Okay.
And we're not releasing any further details. There's an autopsy being conducted now.
Correct.
Yes.
And what was the interaction between law enforcement and him, like his reaction to everything? Was he ignoring them, or? Yeah,
that's the most active part of this investigation, the details that I will not be discussing now. The law enforcement encountered Mr. Berger. A taser and 3 rounds were deployed, and that's the extent of what I'm saying about that incident. At this time, we will be releasing information soon, but not now. Yeah.
So I'm guessing, as you mentioned, you're not going to release a whole lot of information on Berger, but do you know, is there any kind of...
Well, I think I've released a whole lot.
No.
Not a whole lot more.
Correct.
Okay, sure.
But is there a background of mental health issues with Mr. Berger?
Yeah, we're not releasing that at this point. Other questions? Okay, thanks everyone. If people want to stick around and interview anyone individually, you can talk to us. Thanks.